Imagine ending every single day, not stressed, not overwhelmed, but fully in control of your life and your future. Imagine lying in bed knowing that tonight you're planting the seeds for unstoppable success tomorrow. Most people waste hours replaying mistakes, scrolling through distractions, letting their mind run wild, and then wonder why they wake up tired, unmotivated, and stuck. But top achievers, they have a nighttime ritual that transforms ordinary days into extraordinary results. Tonight, you're going to discover exactly what they do before bed, the strategies that separate the winners from everyone else, and how you can do it too. Every night when the world quiets down, top achievers do something most people completely overlook. They take a moment not to criticize themselves, not to dwell on mistakes, but to review their day with clarity and compassion. Think about it for a second. Most people end the day exhausted, frustrated, replaying the things they didn't do, the opportunities they missed, or the words they wish they had said differently. They lie in bed, ruminating over what went wrong, letting regret seep in, dragging their mind through a storm of should-haves and could-haves. That's not how high performers operate. They understand something profoundly simple. The way you end your day shapes your tomorrow. If you go to sleep angry at yourself, worried, or filled with regret, you are programming your subconscious mind to start the next day in the same state. Your mind is incredibly literal. It doesn't differentiate between what's real and what you replay over and over. So if all it sees before sleep is criticism and self-doubt, guess what shows up in the morning? Exactly. Stress, hesitation, lack of clarity. High achievers have a ritual. They close the door on the day, not with shame, but with curiosity and accountability. They ask themselves two critical questions. What worked today? What can I improve tomorrow? Notice the difference here. There's no blame. There's no judgment. It's an objective scan of reality. They are detectives of their own life, looking for clues, patterns, insights, things that will make tomorrow easier, smarter, more effective. And here's the key. They don't get stuck on failures. They don't lie in bed thinking, I can't believe I messed up again. That's wasted energy. Instead, they recognize mistakes for what they are, lessons disguised as challenges. Every misstep becomes data. Every difficulty becomes a stepping stone. They understand that the path to mastery isn't straight or smooth. It's a series of corrections, pivots, and adaptations. Think about someone who lies awake every night criticizing themselves. What are they really doing? They are rehearsing failure. They are strengthening doubt. They are cementing a belief that they are not enough, that they're falling behind. Now, contrast that with someone who ends their day by reflecting with calm and purpose. They sift through the events of the day, and for each moment they ask, what did I do that was effective? Where did I stumble? How can I adjust tomorrow to get better results? It's a mindset that refuses to see the day as a pass-fail test. Every day is a sandbox for improvement, a place to learn, to grow, and to refine the strategy for life itself. The beauty of this approach is that it transforms stress into strategy. You see, when you review your day without judgment, your mind starts to recognize patterns. You notice what triggers procrastination, what situations drain your energy, what environments bring out your best performance. And here's the secret. The more you do this consistently, the faster you learn and the more intuitive your decision-making becomes. Success isn't a matter of talent or luck. It's the cumulative effect of conscious reflection, learning, and improvement. Every night you spend in thoughtful evaluation compounds into unseen momentum. So when you wake up, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting ahead. And here's something that people rarely realize. Reviewing your day with clarity also means celebrating the wins, the small wins, the invisible wins, the ones nobody else noticed. Most people only measure success in monumental achievements, landing the big client, hitting a major milestone, earning a promotion. But the truth is, the consistent small actions, the moments of discipline, the times you chose focus over distraction, those are the building blocks of greatness. Top achievers recognize these moments and honor them. They say, yes, I made progress today. I showed up. I acted. I moved closer to my vision. That feeling of accomplishment, no matter how small, primes your mind to sleep in a state of confidence and possibility rather than regret. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but what about really bad days? The ones that feel like disasters? This is where high performers show their edge. They don't sugarcoat reality. They don't pretend everything was perfect. But they also don't let temporary setbacks define their identity. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? They ask, what can I control moving forward? What can I learn? They dissect the situation objectively. They separate emotion from strategy. And here's the mind-blowing part. After doing this for years, it becomes almost automatic. Their subconscious starts to filter out unnecessary self-criticism and focuses only on constructive insights. They sleep with solutions in their mind, not problems. This daily habit of reflection is more than just a review. It's an act of empowerment, because when you end the day intentionally, you stop being a passenger in your own life. You reclaim control. You decide what to carry forward and what to release. And that's the energy you wake up with the next morning: clarity, focus, and unstoppable momentum. You're not dragging yesterday into today. You're stepping into tomorrow with a clean slate, armed with wisdom and perspective. And here's another subtle but crucial aspect. Reviewing your day this way trains emotional resilience. Life will throw curveballs. Mistakes will happen. People will let you down. But if your nighttime ritual is built around calm reflection, learning, and non-judgment, your nervous system stops overreacting. You stop spiraling. You begin to approach challenges with composure and clarity, knowing that setbacks are temporary and growth is constant. Over time, this creates a foundation for mental toughness and emotional stability that most people spend a lifetime trying to achieve and often fail. So tonight, and every night after, I want you to pause before you close your eyes. Don't let your mind get hijacked by what went wrong. Don't replay the mistakes like they define you. Instead, step back and become the observer of your own life. Ask yourself, what worked today? What lessons are here for me? Where can I do better tomorrow? Acknowledge the small wins, learn from the challenges, and let your mind drift into sleep, not with regret, but with purpose, gratitude, and vision. Because the person you become in the morning begins with the thoughts you let yourself dwell on tonight. Close the day intentionally and watch how your life begins to reflect the discipline, insight, and growth you invested in the quiet moments before sleep. Every night, top achievers do something most people completely miss. They prime their minds for gratitude, not stress. Think about how the average person ends their day: tired, overwhelmed, scrolling through social media, reading the news, replaying every mistake, every irritation, every frustration. They allow their minds to marinate in negativity, anxiety, and self-doubt. By the time they lie down, their subconscious is already buzzing with worry and fear, and that's what carries over into tomorrow. High performers understand something critically important. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant, it will grow. If you plant worry, regret, or stress before sleep, those are the seeds that sprout in the morning. If you plant gratitude, appreciation, and calm reflection, your day starts with energy, focus, and clarity. They don't just stumble into sleep hoping it will somehow make them feel better. They intentionally choose what they feed their mind. And the first thing they feed it is gratitude. Every night, they consciously recall the things that went well, the moments that mattered, the people who supported them, and the progress they made. Not the big, obvious wins, but the small, often invisible victories that make life move forward. They think about the emails they handled well, the conversation they navigated with grace, the exercise they pushed themselves to complete, or even the discipline it took to say no to distraction. Gratitude, they know, is a muscle. It grows stronger the more you use it. Gratitude before bed is not just a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's neuroscience at work. When you focus on the good, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, your nervous system relaxes, your heart rate slows, your body prepares for rest, and your mind naturally shifts from problem-focused thinking to solution-focused thinking. You start to see possibilities instead of obstacles. You see opportunities instead of limitations. And here's the magic. When you wake up, that state doesn't evaporate. You carry it forward. Your morning mindset isn't left to chance. It's pre-programmed by the thoughts you chose tonight. Now, don't get me wrong. Life isn't perfect. Challenges happen. People disappoint you. Plans fall apart. But top achievers don't ignore reality. They don't pretend that every day was flawless. They see the difficulties clearly, but they don't let them dominate their emotional state. Instead, they choose to anchor themselves in what is good, true, and actionable. They consciously decide to end the day on their terms, not under the control of outside chaos. They focus on what they can appreciate, and in doing so, they retrain their mind to operate from power instead of fear. The practice is deceptively simple, but incredibly powerful. Most people think gratitude is about being happy, but it's not. It's about shaping perception and energy. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you literally change the lens through which you see the world. You start noticing solutions instead of problems. You start noticing opportunities instead of obstacles. You start noticing your own progress instead of obsessing over setbacks. And here's the critical insight: the better your lens at night, the better your lens in the morning. Your sleep doesn't just repair your body, it consolidates your mind's programming. What you feed your mind tonight is what it dreams on, what it rehearses in the subconscious, and what it shows up with when the alarm rings. High achievers also understand that gratitude is not a vague, generic concept. It's deliberate, specific, and intentional. They don't just say, I'm grateful for my life. They list the exact moments, people, actions, and experiences that made a difference today. They may think about a conversation with a friend that inspired them, a customer they helped, the focus they brought to a challenging task, or even the simple act of completing a workout despite being tired. Each of these specific acknowledgments strengthens their neural pathways for appreciation and success. They are teaching their brain, look at all the wins, look at all the progress, look at all the resources you already have. And by the time they close their eyes, that recognition saturates every part of their mind. Another critical aspect is that gratitude reduces mental clutter. When you actively focus on what's working, you automatically push aside worry, fear, and doubt. You stop replaying arguments, mistakes, and disappointments in your head. You give yourself permission to rest without guilt. Your subconscious doesn't have to work overtime sorting through negativity because you have already acknowledged it, learned from it, and consciously decided to release it. That's why the quality of your reflection directly impacts the quality of your sleep. Deep restorative sleep doesn't happen when your mind is crowded with worry. It happens when your mind is focused on what matters, on what worked, on what's possible. Top performers also pair gratitude with a shift toward possibility. They don't just look back, they look forward. They think about the potential of tomorrow, but without anxiety. Instead of saying, I hope I can handle tomorrow, they say, I'm prepared for tomorrow. I have what I need. I know where I'm going. Gratitude and vision are a dynamic duo. Gratitude anchors them in the present moment. Appreciate. Ion for what is, while vision propels them forward with confidence. They are rooted in reality, yet elevated by purpose. This combination is what allows them to sleep with power, focus, and emotional stability. And let's not forget, this practice also cultivates emotional intelligence. By reflecting on the day and focusing on gratitude, high achievers notice the nuances of their interactions. They see how their words affected others. They recognize the kindness or effort of people around them. They appreciate teamwork, collaboration, and connection. That awareness strengthens relationships and builds trust, which multiplies effectiveness in life and work. Gratitude before sleep isn't just self-serving, it magnifies your impact on others as well. Finally, consider the ripple effect. One night of intentional gratitude sets the tone for tomorrow. 1 week of intentional gratitude compounds. 1 month rewires your subconscious. And before long, you're no longer reactive to life. You're proactive. You start noticing blessings you once overlooked, solutions you once missed, and opportunities you once ignored. You sleep with clarity and wake with momentum. You carry energy, confidence, and peace into every interaction. So tonight, when you lay your head down, don't allow your mind to drift to stress, regret, or worry. Pause and actively choose gratitude. Recall 3 specific things that went well, 3 people or experiences that made a difference, 3 moments where you made progress. Let that feeling saturate your mind, your body, your nervous system. Let it settle in so deeply that when you drift into sleep, your subconscious absorbs it. And when you wake up, you will rise not from anxiety or pressure, but from clarity, focus, and unstoppable momentum. Sleep with gratitude and watch how it transforms the way you show up for your life. Every night, top achievers do something that most people completely overlook, something so simple yet profoundly transformative. They visualize tomorrow as if it's already won. Most people think of visualization as a vague daydream, something for dreamers who aren't grounded in reality. But high performers know that visualization is a mental rehearsal for life. It's not about escaping reality. It's about preparing for it with clarity, confidence, and focus. They close their eyes, and instead of dwelling on worries, doubts, or past mistakes, they imagine themselves moving through tomorrow as the person they aspire to be, the person they already are at their highest potential. Think about this for a second. Your brain doesn't really distinguish between vivid imagination and real experience. When you see yourself handling a challenging situation with confidence, making the right decision under pressure, or communicating clearly and effectively, your mind records it as a memory of success. It starts wiring pathways for that behavior. The muscles, the nervous system, the subconscious mind, all of it begins to practice excellence while you sleep. By the time the alarm goes off, you've already rehearsed winning, and that gives you a head start most people don't even know exists. High achievers don't just visualize in general terms. They see the details, feel the emotions, and experience the sensations of success. They imagine walking into the office or the meeting, feeling confident in their knowledge and prepared for any challenge. They see the conversation flowing smoothly, their voice calm and persuasive. They feel the satisfaction of completing a task with precision. They imagine interactions with people going exactly the way they want, not in a rigid, controlling way, but with alignment, clarity, and purpose. They immerse themselves in the day they want to create, and in doing so, they plant the seeds of that reality in their subconscious. The power of this practice lies not just in imagining success, but in aligning identity with action. When you visualize, you are telling your mind, this is who I am, this is how I behave, this is what I am capable of. Your subconscious doesn't question it, it doesn't debate, it doesn't argue, it simply begins to match your reality to the image you provide. And here's where it becomes magical. When you wake up, your brain is already primed for excellence. You walk into the day with confidence, focus, and a sense of inevitability. The feeling that success is not just possible, it is expected. Top achievers also use visualization to preempt challenges. They don't wait for obstacles to surprise them. They mentally rehearse the tough moments, the conversations that could go wrong, the decisions that might feel uncomfortable. They imagine themselves responding calmly, strategically, and effectively. They anticipate objections, they see the roadblocks, and they practice overcoming them with grace. By the time these moments arrive in real life, they are no longer reactive, they are prepared. They approach the day with emotional resilience and mental agility because they have already run the scenarios in their mind, seen themselves succeed, and built the confidence to act. Another crucial aspect of this practice is emotional immersion. Visualization is not a passive activity, it's an experience. High performers feel the pride of accomplishment, the relief of handling a difficult situation, the joy of progress. They engage their senses, sight, sound, touch, even smell and movement. Their bodies respond as if the experience is real. This sensory involvement accelerates learning and adaptation. It's not just imagination, it's a full rehearsal, a neural simulation of success. And when you repeat this nightly, you are literal. By training your body, mind, and emotions to align with your highest potential, and here's something most people miss. Visualization is also a confidence multiplier. Confidence doesn't come from luck or external validation. It comes from repeated experience and preparation. When you practice success in your mind every night, your nervous system begins to believe it. Your energy changes, your posture, your tone, your focus, everything starts to shift. You no longer wait for external circumstances to validate you. You carry internal certainty that you are capable, competent, and ready. That is why top achievers approach challenges calmly, decisively, and strategically. They don't fear failure because they've rehearsed success thousands of times in their mind. High performers also use visualization to clarify priorities and intention. At the end of the day, the brain is like a projector. Whatever you feed it before sleep plays out while you rest. So if you visualize with precision, seeing the day unfolding in alignment with your goals, your subconscious begins to sort, filter, and prioritize. It highlights opportunities, directs attention, and strengthens decision-making. You wake up with mental clarity and a natural ability to focus on what matters most without distraction or hesitation. Visualization is not daydreaming. It's a strategic mental alignment that ensures your energy, attention, and action are fully optimized. Another subtle yet incredibly powerful benefit is that visualization reduces anxiety and fear. Most people lie in bed ruminating about what could go wrong, imagining failure, or replaying past mistakes. Their subconscious rehearses worry and doubt. High achievers flip that script. They take the same moments and imagine success, effectiveness, and positive outcomes. The nervous system begins to adapt. Fear diminishes. Uncertainty becomes opportunity. Thank you. The mind learns to anticipate victory instead of failure. And over time, this rewires the brain to naturally default to confidence, calm, and strategic action. Top performers also combine visualization with gratitude and emotional state. They don't just see what they want, they feel the excitement, fulfillment, and satisfaction of achieving it. They imagine themselves celebrating wins, appreciating progress, and enjoying the journey. That combination of vision and emotion strengthens the neural pathways for success. The subconscious mind doesn't just record the action, it records the experience, the energy, the identity of success. And when you consistently reinforce that identity night after night, your waking life starts to reflect it effortlessly. The final piece of this practice is consistency and repetition. One night of visualization might plant a seed, but repeated practice ingrains it. It becomes automatic. It becomes a habit. The brain starts to expect success. Your energy shifts, your focus sharpens, and your actions align with the vision you've rehearsed. You move through the world with inevitability. You are not chasing success. You are living from it already, and the results become a natural reflection of your nightly preparation. So tonight, as you prepare to close your eyes, don't let your mind drift aimlessly. Don't replay mistakes or worry about tomorrow. Instead, take a few moments to see your day in detail as if it has already happened perfectly. Feel the emotions of achievement, clarity, and confidence. Walk through the conversations, the decisions, the actions with precision and presence. Experience the satisfaction of showing up as your best self. When you do this, your subconscious absorbs it. Your nervous system rehearses it. Your confidence builds. And when the morning comes, you step into the day not guessing, not hoping, but knowing, prepared and unstoppable. Visualize your success tonight and watch how it shapes every moment of tomorrow. Every night, top achievers do something most people completely underestimate, something deceptively simple but profoundly impactful. They disconnect from noise and reconnect with purpose. Think about your average evening. Most people end their day bombarded by information. Social media feeds, emails, news alerts, messages, notifications, endless scrolling. They allow their minds to be flooded with external chaos right when they should be preparing for rest, reflection, and growth. High performers understand that the final moments before sleep are sacred. What you consume, what you think about, and what energy you bring into those moments directly shape your state of mind, your nervous system, and your ability to wake up ready to perform. Top achievers realize that the human brain is highly impressionable before sleep. It records what it sees, what it hears, what it feels. If you fill it with chaos, drama, complaints, and negative news, that is what your mind rehearses while you sleep. Your subconscious will continue to process it, which means that when you wake up, you're carrying stress, distraction, and anxiety with you. But if you intentionally disconnect, if you create a boundary between yourself and external noise, something powerful happens. You give your mind space to process, organize, and integrate the day's experiences, and you allow your thoughts to settle into clarity rather than chaos. Disconnecting doesn't mean ignorance. It doesn't mean pretending problems don't exist. It's about choosing when and how you engage with information. Top performers know they don't have to respond to every email at 11 p.m. They don't need to scroll through social media feeds filled with comparison, outrage, or distraction. They understand that the last hour before, bed is not the time for external engagement. It is the time for internal alignment. This is the time to reflect, to plan, to reset, and to prime their energy for the next day. They protect these moments like a sacred ritual, because they know that what they feed their mind now will influence their performance tomorrow. High achievers also know the power of reconnecting with purpose. Once the noise is gone, they turn inward. They remind themselves why they are doing what they do. They visualize the bigger picture, the mission, the long-term goals. They reflect on what matters most to them, the people, the values, the accomplishments they are pursuing. This practice is not just motivational fluff. It's a way to center their identity and energy. When you reconnect with purpose, every decision, every action, and every thought aligns with what you value most. Sleep becomes a time of reinforcement, not distraction. Your subconscious mind continues to process your priorities while your body rests. So when morning comes, your energy and focus are naturally directed toward what truly matters. Another key element of this practice is emotional control. Most people let external noise dictate how they feel before sleep. One bad email, one news story, one negative comment, and suddenly they're tense, anxious, or frustrated. High performers refuse to hand over that power. They understand that their emotional state before bed directly influences the quality of their sleep and the quality of their decisions tomorrow. By disconnecting from distractions and reconnecting with purpose, they create an environment where calm, clarity, and focus can flourish. This isn't just about peace of mind. It's about strategic preparation for high performance. This disconnection also allows for mental decluttering. Our brains accumulate millions of impressions, thoughts, and stimuli every day. Without intentional space to process them, These thoughts get jumbled and replayed at night, creating restless energy and scattered focus. High achievers consciously create a buffer between themselves and the digital world. They may spend a few moments journaling, meditating, or simply sitting in quiet reflection. This allows their mind to sort, prioritize, and consolidate insights from the day. The mental clutter dissipates, and what remains is clarity, insight, and readiness for action. Top performers also pair disconnection with energy calibration. They understand that the end of the day is not just about rest. It's about preparing the nervous system to show up fully the next day. They pay attention to how they feel physically and emotionally. They engage in practices that calm the body, such as deep breathing, gentle stretching, or gratitude reflection. They ensure that the last energy they carry into sleep is aligned with strength, confidence, and focus, not stress, fear, or distraction. By doing this consistently, they begin to train their nervous system to naturally relax and recharge so that when they wake up, they are already in a state of readiness and resilience. Another subtle but critical benefit of disconnecting and reconnecting with purpose is mental clarity and creativity. When the brain isn't constantly bombarded by external noise, it begins to process ideas at a deeper level. Solutions to problems, insights about priorities, and creative breakthroughs often emerge in the quiet moments before sleep. High achievers understand that some of their most innovative thinking occurs when they are not actively working, but simply giving their mind space to integrate and organize. This is why disconnection isn't wasted time. It's an investment in problem solving and strategic foresight. This habit also strengthens self-discipline and personal boundaries. In a world that constantly demands attention, the ability to say no to external noise is a sign of mastery. High performers create rules for themselves. No doom scrolling, no unnecessary notifications, no late night distractions that don't serve their goals. By setting these boundaries consistently, they reinforce their identity as someone who controls their energy and attention rather than being controlled by it. And over time, this discipline compounds into resilience, focus, and unstoppable momentum. Finally, the act of disconnecting and reconnecting with purpose is a practice of intentional living. Most people drift through life, letting circumstances, media, and other people dictate their energy and attention. High achievers refuse to drift. They create intentional space each night to reset, reflect, and refocus. They acknowledge the day's wins, learn from its challenges, and align themselves with the values and outcomes that truly matter. They sleep not as victims of circumstance, but as architects of their lives, prepared to show up with clarity, confidence, and unstoppable momentum. So tonight, as you prepare for bed, step away from the distractions, the notifications, the noise that doesn't serve you. Turn your attention inward. Reflect on your purpose. Feel the connection to what matters most. Calm your body, center your mind, and align your energy. Protect these moments because they are the invisible foundation of high performance. Sleep intentionally and watch how your life begins to flow with clarity, power, and unstoppable momentum. Every night, top achievers do something most people completely overlook, yet it is one of the most powerful habits for creating unstoppable momentum. They set one clear intention for the next day. Now, when most people think about planning for tomorrow, they imagine long to-do lists, endless tasks, and schedules so packed it's overwhelming just to look at them. That's exactly why most Opal wake up feeling stressed, reactive, and scattered. High performers take a completely different approach. They don't overwhelm their minds with everything that needs to be done. Instead, they focus on one non-negotiable outcome, the one action, task, or decision that, if accomplished, will move their life forward in a meaningful way. Think about it for a moment. When your mind is filled with dozens of competing priorities, it naturally fragments your focus. Your energy is divided, your attention scattered, and the probability of meaningful progress diminishes. High achievers understand that clarity creates power. By identifying a single high-impact goal for tomorrow, they set a beacon for their subconscious mind. The brain doesn't just register the task intellectually, it begins to prioritize resources, attention, and energy to support that outcome. When morning comes, they are not scrambling to figure out what to do first. Their mind is already aligned, their energy is already focused. The day flows naturally toward the accomplishment that matters most. Setting one clear intention also serves another critical purpose. It reduces decision fatigue. Every choice you make throughout the day consumes mental energy. When your brain is faced with too many options, it tires quickly, making it harder to act decisively and effectively. By establishing a single guiding priority before bed, high performers give themselves a mental shortcut. They have already decided what matters most. They don't waste energy debating, doubting, or second guessing. The clarity created by this one intention frees up mental bandwidth to execute at a higher level across all other areas. High achievers don't just pick any task or goal. They pick the one that creates leverage, the action that generates momentum and aligns with their bigger vision. It's not about busyness. It's about impact. They ask themselves, if I accomplish this tomorrow, what will it unlock? What doors will it open? What progress will it accelerate? By prioritizing strategically, they ensure that each day contributes meaningfully to their long-term goals. Small, well-chosen actions compound over time, and this single focus habit allows them to create massive results without burning out or spinning their wheels. Another remarkable aspect of this practice is that it cultivates accountability and self-discipline. When you commit to one clear intention, you are making a promise to yourself. You are saying, this matters and I will make it happen. That promise creates internal pressure, not in a stressful way, but in a motivating way. Your subconscious mind takes it seriously. Your actions, decisions, and energy naturally align to fulfill that commitment. Over time, this builds a pattern of reliability and integrity with yourself, which is the foundation of personal power and consistent achievement. Top achievers also use this practice to anchor their identity. They don't simply ask, what should I do tomorrow? They ask, who do I want to be tomorrow? The one clear intention is not just an action, it's a reflection of the person they aspire to become. It's an opportunity to align behavior with identity. For example, if their intention is to lead a meeting with clarity and confidence, they aren't just focusing on logistics. They are embodying the traits of a decisive, effective leader. If their intention is to complete a workout, they are embodying discipline and commitment. Each clear intention reinforces who they are becoming, and by living these intentional moments daily, their identity transforms naturally into someone who consistently achieves at a high level. This practice also reduces overwhelm and stress, which is critical before sleep. Many people lie awake worrying about all the things they have to do tomorrow. Their mind spins with options, deadlines, and pressures, which leads to restless nights and low-quality sleep. High performers eliminate this anxiety by creating a single, focused target. Their mind knows what matters most. Their subconscious begins organizing solutions, sequencing tasks, and preparing them to act efficiently. When they go to bed, there's no chaos, only clarity, purpose, and confidence that they are ready for the day ahead. In addition, this habit naturally enhances focus and execution during the day. When you wake up knowing exactly what your most important task is, your actions are no longer random or reactive. You can navigate distractions, challenges, and interruptions with intention. Everything else in your day becomes secondary, supporting the completion of that primary goal. Momentum builds quickly because your energy is concentrated rather than diffused. High achievers understand that consistent progress is not the result of doing everything. It's the result of doing the right thing consistently. Setting one clear intention allows them to harness this principle every single day. Another subtle but powerful benefit is that it trains your subconscious to work for you. When you focus on a single intention before sleep, your subconscious mind continues processing solutions, opportunities, and strategies overnight. Ideas emerge in dreams, clarity surfaces spontaneously, and you wake with insights that often feel effortless. The brain is constantly working, but when it has a clear directive, it organizes thoughts in a way that naturally supports success. This is why some of the best ideas, solutions, and breakthroughs often come first thing in the morning, because the mind has been silently rehearsing while the body rested. High achievers also recognize that consistency compounds. One day of setting a clear intention is helpful, but when this becomes a nightly habit, the results are exponential. Each day's clarity, focus, and purpose build on the last. Habits are formed. Identity is reinforced. The mind naturally defaults to high performance, and the actions required to achieve success become almost automatic. Over time, this simple habit creates a level of productivity, momentum, and personal growth that most people never experience because they underestimate the power of intentional preparation. Finally, this practice reminds them that success is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. Life is not a checklist, it's a series of high-leverage moments. The one clear intention ensures that every day contributes meaningfully to long-term vision. It's a reminder that effectiveness beats busyness, focus beats distraction, and alignment beats chaos. By ending each day with this intentional focus, high achievers go to sleep not just with tasks planned, but with energy, clarity, and alignment to show up as their best selves tomorrow. So tonight, as you prepare for bed, pause and ask yourself one simple but powerful question. And what is the one thing that will make tomorrow extraordinary? Choose it. Commit to it. Visualize it. Feel yourself accomplishing it. Let it guide your subconscious overnight and wake with the focus, clarity, and momentum to make it real. Every night, top achievers do something that most people never think about. Something so subtle yet so transformational. They go to bed with identity, not circumstances. Think about the way most people end their day. They replay what happened, what went wrong, what they didn't get done. They focus on circumstances, the missed opportunities, the setbacks, the frustrations, the external events they can't control. By the time they close their eyes, they are exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally. Their self-worth has been tied to what happened instead of who they are. Top achievers understand that circumstances are fleeting, but identity is everything. They don't let temporary events dictate how they feel about themselves. Instead, they ask a deeper question: who did I become today? This is a profound shift. Most people end the day thinking about results. Winners end the day thinking about character. They understand that results follow identity, not the other way around. When you measure yourself by who you are becoming, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You stop being at the mercy of external events. You reclaim control of your mind, your emotions, and your energy. Even if the day was challenging, even if things didn't go according to plan, your identity remains intact. You can close your eyes with pride, with dignity, and with a sense of progress that circumstances alone could never give you. High achievers also use this practice to anchor themselves in consistency and integrity. Every night, they review their actions through the lens of identity. They ask themselves, did I act in alignment with my values? Did I show courage? Did I show discipline? Did I contribute, lead, or improve? They don't ask, did I make money? Did I succeed? Did the day go perfectly? Those are outcomes. The true measure of progress is whether they lived as the person they are becoming. By closing the day with this reflection, they train themselves to consistently make choices that reinforce their identity. Every decision becomes easier because their identity has already been defined. They are no longer reacting to circumstances. They are responding from the strength of who they are. Going to bed with identity also builds emotional resilience. Life will throw challenges at you. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Obstacles will appear. But when your self-worth is rooted in your identity rather than your circumstances, you are no longer fragile. You don't crumble when external events are tough. You don't spiral when things go wrong. Instead, you carry a sense of self that is untouchable, unshakable. You understand that setbacks are temporary and that your value is not determined by them. This perspective allows high achievers to sleep with peace of mind, knowing that no matter what happens, they are still growing, learning, and becoming stronger. Another critical aspect of this practice is that it shifts the subconscious mind. When you focus on identity rather than circumstance before sleep, you are programming your brain to operate from a place of strength. Your subconscious doesn't replay failures or limitations. It rehearses courage, discipline, focus, and resilience. Over time, this nightly reinforcement becomes automatic. Your mind begins to default to behaviors and decisions that reflect the identity you are cultivating. You no longer have to force yourself to act with excellence. Your identity carries you there naturally. Every thought, every action, every decision starts to align with the person you are becoming. High achievers also use this practice to release the day's baggage. Instead of lying awake, replaying frustrations, arguments, mistakes, or missed opportunities, they consciously separate themselves from circumstances. They acknowledge what happened, learn from it, and then let it go. Their value, their self-image, and their sense of power are intact regardless of the day's events. This ability to detach from outcomes while remaining committed to growth is a hallmark of high performance. It allows them to sleep deeply, restore fully, and wake ready to act with clarity and purpose. This habit also strengthens confidence and self-trust. When you go to bed anchored in identity, you reinforce the belief that you are capable, competent, and resilient. You are not defined by failure or circumstance. You are defined by your choices, your habits, and your growth. This consistent reinforcement builds an unshakable confidence that carries over into every interaction, every challenge, and every decision. Your sense of self becomes your greatest asset, far more powerful than any external outcome. Top performers also recognize that identity is the ultimate source of motivation. Motivation tied to external results is unreliable. It fluctuates based on success, recognition, or circumstance. Motivation rooted in identity is unshakable because it comes from within. When you go to bed focused on who you are becoming, you tap into an internal engine that drives consistent action. You no longer wait for circumstances to inspire you. You act because it is who you are. This internal motivation is what allows high achievers to consistently perform at their best, even when life is challenging or unpredictable. Another subtle but powerful effect of this practice is mental clarity. When you review the day through the lens of identity, your mind naturally filters what matters and what doesn't. You stop obsessing over trivial setbacks, minor annoyances, or other people's actions. Instead, you focus on growth, learning, and the habits that reinforce your values. This clarity allows the subconscious mind to process information efficiently, consolidating lessons, insights, and strategies while you sleep. You wake with direction, focus, and energy that simply didn't exist before. Going to bed with identity also encourages long-term vision and strategic thinking. When you measure yourself by character rather than circumstances, you begin to see the bigger picture. Short-term failures no longer derail you. Minor setbacks no longer frustrate you. You understand that life is a series of lessons, and every day contributes to the development of the person you are becoming. This perspective allows high achievers to operate from a place of patience, resilience, and strategic foresight. They are not reactive. They are deliberate. They sleep with peace, knowing that every night reinforces the identity that will create long-term success. Finally, this practice reinforces a sense of inner peace and fulfillment. When your worth is defined by identity rather than circumstance, you can end every day with pride, dignity, and contentment. You don't need external validation to feel successful. You don't need perfect results to feel worthy. You can rest knowing that regardless of what happened, you acted in alignment with your values, your character, and your vision. You go to sleep whole, empowered, and prepared to wake up and continue becoming the person you are meant to be. So tonight, as you prepare for sleep, don't measure yourself by what happened today or what didn't go your way. Don't let temporary events dictate your sense of self. Instead, ask yourself, who did I become today? Who do I want to be tomorrow? Reflect on your character, your actions, and your growth. Let your identity, not your circumstances, guide your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy. Sleep anchored in the truth of who you are and wake ready to show up as the unstoppable person you were always meant to be.